Bhante and friends in the order. I'm standing in today substituting for Triratna, who couldn't be with us because of visa complications. He couldn't leave the US. As it happens, it's the 15th anniversary of Triratna working for Dharma Chakra Tapes. So he spent 15 years working to protect, preserve and disseminate Bhante's audio legacy, and of course the audio legacy of many order members. However, the history of Dharma Chakra goes back much further than 15 years. In fact, I don't actually know when it begins. I know Bhante's talks were being recorded almost from the time he came back from India in the early 1960s. But the first connection possibly with the order is when Ananda, who wasn't Ananda then, was recording Bhante around 1966, I think. He made these reel-to-reel tape recordings of talks by Bhante in the Kingsway Hall in London. And the first series that Ananda mentions was the series on aspects of Buddhist psychology. These were made on what was called a Revox machine. And when Ananda was asked about this, he twice mentioned how heavy it was. He said it was very, very heavy. And then later he said it was very, very heavy. Yeah? So that's the main thing that perhaps Ananda remembers about those Revox 10-inch reel-to-reel machines. Very heavy. In those early days, and actually for many, many years, the recorded talks were very important because people used to sit around and listen to recordings of Bhante speaking. That was how we did things, as it were. Order members didn't give talks for quite a long time. In fact, when I came along first in 1984, we were still sitting around listening to a cassette playing of Bhante's talks. Even though by then some order members were giving talks. So the recorded talks were very important in the starting up of many, many Triratna centres. Ananda mentioned, for instance, sending reel-to-reel tapes off to New Zealand and how they took many weeks to arrive in New Zealand. After the reel-to-reel tapes came the era of cassettes, which were mainly bought by centres and copied endlessly for study classes and so on. And as I said, when I first came along in the 80s, we were still doing that, listening to those tapes. After the cassettes came the CDs, which to some extent ensured the survival of all this audio material. And then the internet revolution happened. And after many years of hard work and constant financial struggle, I have to say, Free Buddhist Audio was born. That was about 5 years ago. And I think the whole order and movement can be very grateful to the people who have done so much to preserve the oral teachings of our movement over the years. I'm going to name a few of them. I was going to ask them to stand up so you could applaud them, but I think I haven't got the time to do that, so I'm just going to name them. Ananda, Sagaramati, Ratnaprabha, Mahamati, Ashvajit, Shantigarbha, Padmavyuha, Vajrananda, Dharmashura, and there are a host of other people who are volunteers, trustees, and so on. And also, Free Buddhist Audio now incorporates all of the transcriptions of Bhante's seminars and the transcriptions of talks. And we need to thank Chittapala and Silabhadra for starting that project, and again, a host of volunteers for carrying it out. In fact, there are still something like 30 volunteers transcribing talks by order members as we speak, sort of. And there are people also translating transcripts of talks. So that volunteer force still carries on. Nowadays, it doesn't take weeks to send a talk to New Zealand or anywhere else. Free Buddhist Audio has been accessed by over 100,000 people in the last year in about 180 countries. And thousands, actually around 250,000 talks have been downloaded in the last year last December we reached 1 million downloads. Just think, if every one of them had given £1, we could be financing the India Dharma Trust, not asking you for money. Yeah? And the talks reach people in remote places, even places that are not so remote benefit a lot from these talks. So, for instance, we got this email from a mitra in Denmark who wrote very well, "One of the best things about Free Buddhist Audio is that the old and the new come together. Old talks from the start of Triratna with Sangharakshata lie side by side with new talks of many other teachers. This makes the site very relevant for me and gives the opportunity to learn from new and old on common ground. The fact that you can find meditations and talks from many countries and feel the commitment and engagement that others put into the Dharma around the movement and the world is also a vital thing for me. All in all, Free Buddhist Audio is an inspirational source of invitations to go deeper into studies of the Dharma and mindfulness. Thank you for that." That's from a mitra called Bo Lund in Denmark. And this is a common response. Gratitude that Bhante's teaching is so readily available, and a sense of being part of a community of practitioners. I've had some other emails, I can't read them to you, one from Toowoomba, from I think it's Viraja in Toowoomba in Australia, and a very interesting email from Shravaniya in the US, who talks about the importance of voice. He's a musician, so sound is very important to him, but he talks about the importance of hearing someone's voice and how you can develop a relationship, a quite intimate relationship with someone through hearing their voice in a way that you can't from just reading. So Ananda put a lot of effort into hauling his heavy Revox machine around to record talks. By the way, there's a photograph of a Revox machine on the Free Buddhist Audio stand in the shopping mall. And today, a lot of work goes into, in a way, making it seem effortless that people in New Zealand, US, Latin America, Finland, or wherever, can get to hear all of Bhante's talks and the latest talks by order members at the touch of a button. Someone in Malawi, for instance, is listening regularly to talks. It may seem effortless, but it's a lot of work. And the pace of change in technology means that we have to try and continue to keep up with that. So there's continuing developments are necessary. In the last couple of years, for instance, a big change has occurred in how particularly younger people access the internet. Over 50% now access the internet, not from a computer, but from a handheld device such as a smartphone. Yeah? Anyway, because I'm quite closely involved with Free Buddhist Audio, I'm the chairman of the trustees, I constantly hear how much people love Free Buddhist Audio and how they use it. And this seems to me to be a continuation of the tradition that was there when I first came along, of sitting around listening to a cassette recording of Bhante. Now it may be listening on a laptop or an MP3 player. It may be listening in a park or in a cafe or whatever. But the motivation and the interest is the same. So many people use and love Free Buddhist Audio. Thousands of people, in fact. However, sadly for us, only a few hundred support us financially. And the struggle to keep it all going is the same as it has been for years. In the 6 or so years that I've been chair, it's been a constant crisis. And this is a pity. Free Buddhist Audio is about preserving, protecting, and disseminating Bhante's teaching via audio and text. It's about getting the Triratna message out there into the wide world, without limits, as it were. It's about giving the Dharma, sowing the seeds of the Dharma that may grow and flourish at home and abroad. And Free Buddhist Audio belongs to all of us. It's our message. It is the Triratna voice speaking out strongly and confidently in a world where many voices vie for attention. As Bhante has said, Free Buddhist Audio is one of the most important developments in our movement for many years. So why should this well-loved, important, even crucial part of our movement struggle to make ends meet? In fact, it wouldn't take very much to solve Free Buddhist Audio's financial problems. I'm not sure exactly how many people, but £10 a month from, say, about 200, 300 people would do it. £10 a month, by the way, is 33 pence a day, which is not a lot of money for anyone. Make it 66 pence and you can support the India Dharma Trust as well. 66 pence a day for both of us, yes? It's not a lot of money for anyone. You wouldn't think twice about spending that in the tuck shop here, yeah? So it's just a matter of choice, really. And this is an opportunity for us all to act collectively and ensure the financial stability of this institution that's so loved and praised for making the Triratna message so easily and attractively available worldwide. A while ago, I think it was a couple of years ago, we did this for Bhante's personal support. In a short time, the order stepped in and made sure that Bhante was looked after financially. So now let's do it again, this time for Bhante's teaching. Let's step in and make sure Bhante's message, the Triratna message, is heard loud and clear around the world without the constant stress of lack of money. Let's do it.